Hello and happy Thursday. You know, a lot is going on. This is one of the busiest weeks in politics of the whole year, so I wanted to give a midweek recap of what's going on. First of all, Angela has got a reason to be dancing. She was down by a lot of points. Then she was up by 5. Then she was up by 7. Then she was up by 11, and now she's at 9 over Larry Hogan. Some people are saying, oh, look, she lost 2 points. Larry Hogan's dirt must be really working on her. But it's not. What's really going on is Time Magazine just dropped a bombshell today, the day of the debate, that says Larry Hogan cheated the state out of millions and millions of dollars to give gifts to his friends who were in the real estate business. That was deliberately done to benefit Hogan. And old Larry's in trouble now because he tried to make a big deal out of Angela and a little tax problem, but instead he gets nailed for millions and millions of dollars in ethics violations. I don't want to call Hogan a pig. Just because he is one, I shouldn't be calling him a pig. But it's good to see him get nailed on this stuff. This is one of the mailers that Larry's been sending out. Look closer at her illegal deductions. What a piece of garbage Larry Hogan is. Because she got nailed on a little thing, which is trumped up against her. And it was the Trump people that did it. They've been digging through everything she ever did, looking for anything they could nail her on. And the worst thing they could do was find this problem she's got to refile her taxes. But Hogan stole hundreds of millions of dollars in gifts and grants and all sorts of things for his real estate buddies, which benefit his business. Larry Hogan is dirty. Sad news today. Word was out that Ethel Kennedy passed away. 96 years old, had a stroke, died from complications. Um, Bobby and Ethel were not my favorite Kennedys. Actually, I like Teddy best. But Ethel gets a mention here because her daughter, Kathleen Kennedy Townsend, was lieutenant governor of Maryland under Paris Glendening. She did a good job. Things are still resonating across the state. Less than 2 years ago, Maryland 529 was falling apart. This was a complete disaster. So they were going to give it to Brooke and let her straighten things out. But then when the decision had to be made, everybody realized that there was no way Brooke was going to be able to fix something that complicated. It was a major task. Um, they didn't know how much money there was. They couldn't pay out the college money to the parents when tuition was due. It was a disaster. And when the press would come on up to try and ask questions, the head of Maryland 529 would run away in panic. It was a circus. This week, CNBC just put out a rating. Maryland 529 is the number one rated 529 in the nation. They've gone from worst to best. And here's the thing, because Brooke was too incompetent to handle it, and they knew it. They handled it. They handed it to the state treasurer, Dereck Davis. Dereck's smart, but he drove a lot of people crazy because immediately he put Courtney in at Maryland 529, Courtney Finklea Green. And a lot of people were like, how can you take a woman without any experience and make her in charge of a multi-billion dollar operation? Well, here's the thing. Davis is a lot smarter than people realized. Courtney had 13 years in business before she decided to be a teacher. A lot of people thought she was just a teacher, but she had 13 years in business. Not only that, she had a bachelor's degree from a good college and 5 master's degrees. Brooke had tried to put her down after her father sexually assaulted Courtney. She was saying, well, she doesn't have the education, she doesn't have the background, she doesn't have the business experience. We can't give her a job. Um, a significant job, the comptroller's office, and they offered her like a junior entry level position after she had worked 2.5 years for Brooke. Dereck spotted that and he realized how smart Courtney was. He put her in charge at 529. In less than a year, she took it from worst in the nation to the point where the Maryland General Assembly gave serious thought to just shutting it down, dispersing the money, and calling it quits. But Davis took it over. He put Courtney in, top rated in the country. It's been incredible. And that's really shaking things up because a lot of people felt, how can Davis just put a young black woman? Well, Courtney's not as young as she looks. You know, she's had time to get through a lot of college education, business experience, and everything else. And people who thought that she was doomed to failure are now just shocked because best in the country. It was a big deal. Now, getting up to Baltimore County, this is a crazy week. They just had their Unity dinner, and then they had what I call the dueling soirees. Dana Stein and Izzy Patoka both decided to have fundraisers on the same night at the same time, period. Now, what's really going on is Dana was going to have a fundraiser anyway, and he gets along well with Julian Jones. Um, Councilman Julian Jones, of course, ends up at Dana Stein's um, soiree. I like that word. It's sort of funny. Um, but yeah, Julian is running for county executive because it's so obvious. Johnny O is going to win the congressional seat. They're probably going to put a placeholder in there, and then in 2 years, um, Julian and Izzy battle it out. Now, Izzy also had his fundraiser. He didn't get nearly the publicity. It's hard to find anything. I did post something in Everybody's Maryland Politics about it, but all sorts of people were sending in pictures from Dana's event. And a lot of them were sending them in because they were supporting Julian for county executive. Izzy didn't get nearly the publicity. Maybe he'll get some more pictures out today. He did post some pictures and they were okay, but he could have done a better job. The other thing in Baltimore County, dueling soirees, the unity dinner, and then council passed the map. So um, they've got the map. It puts in two more council people. It's going to be up before the voters. They're still fussing about it, but it looks like the map is going to go through. And I want to thank all of you. Um, it occurred to me I'm going to do these periodically when I think there's something worth talking about. And this week was just so exciting that I figured it was time to say something. So um, have a great week and God bless. I appreciate anyone who listens to this. Sometimes I wonder, does anybody really read the stuff I write? And does anybody listen to the podcast? Well, I guess maybe you do. Thank you.